yeah, I mean, it's obviously fun to start that way, start off on a good note. But yeah, just I love this team a lot, man. It's just fun the way we play and share the ball, and that's what we've been emphasizing all year, is just playing together, and that's how we can separate ourselves, just choosing to play together every night. And I think we got a little taste of that tonight, and just keep rolling.
Gabe, your brother Mason and you just seem to play the game such similar ways. Like, is there a lot of synergy there with that? Like, you guys just feel that?
No, I mean, it's honestly kind of in high school. He didn't shoot it as much. Like, he played way more like point guard. He didn't shoot it like great. So for him to come and I mean, he's worked so hard at it, and I think he's a great shooter now. So yeah, we definitely play more like now, and just I mean, when he got here, the synergy obviously of playing like 10 years of basketball together, you can probably see it a little bit. So yeah.
You guys have gotten a couple of games now. What's the biggest difference from last year's team to this year's team in terms of how you guys are playing?
I think we're a lot more positionless this year. Last year we, with going Lawson and BC, we were kind of more big oriented. But this year, I think 1 through 4, everyone can handle the ball, can shoot the ball, and it's been really fun to play that way.
You guys seem to have a pretty free-flowing offense. Obviously, it's the first game, but how do you feel like things are coming together as a team, knowing that that's kind of your style?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I think like I just expect this team to have a lot of assists every night, and I think just we're gonna keep building off of that. But that's something Coach Smith keeps talking about. Is like when people come into practice and watch us play, he says like people are always like it's hard to believe that there's 9 new guys. And I think just like I said, we've been emphasizing that and trying to make that kind of our identity, because it's a fun way to play, and it's a hard thing to guard when you don't have to call a lot of things and you just are playing for each other and making the right next play. And I think this team is really buying into that. So,
Jake, you guys obviously win big, 41 points, but what can you take away from tonight as an area of improvement for you guys moving forward?
Obviously we've got a few of our centers down right now, and a lot of us had to step into new roles. I obviously was playing a little bit of the 5 out there, which that's not originally who I am, and other guys had to step into different roles as well. But I think the biggest thing is rebounding, preventing them from getting on the offensive boards a little bit, and like Coach Smith always says to us, gang rebounding everyone. It takes 5 guys to go and get that board, to make hits. So rebounding, guarding the ball. It's a turf war. You gotta own your ground that you stand on, and so those are a few things I think we need to focus on.
To follow up on that,
Yep.
how difficult is that to take on a different role than what you were anticipating coming into the night?
Again, like I said earlier, a lot of us are very positionless, and that can hurt other teams to have to guard that when 1 through 5, you have to worry about the perimeter, and you have to worry about getting back cut, and as well as defensively, we can switch 1 through 5, so there's not as much mismatches and stuff that way. I think we're dangerous either way, because we have so many guys that can do so many different things, and there's a lot of different weapons in a lot of different ways.
Mike showcased a couple no-look passes. Do you guys feel like you have to be on your toes with him, and what's it like to play with him and his game developing?
He's really fun to play with. I mean, I've been saying for a while, he's just like it's like a quarterback. Like he sees stuff before it even happens. Like the play before half, we called something, and I like ran up, and he was like, "No, go corner. I'm gonna hit you," and then he just did it. So I was like, I mean, he just sees the game in such a unique way, and it's really easy. I mean, it's honestly easy to play with. You just gotta be ready to catch the passes, because there's a lot of no lookers. But that's what happens when your dad plays for the Harlem Globetrotters and you watch that growing up.
I was going to say, he's got a little bit of that in him, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
In years past, Craig has talked a lot about how the teams just haven't had a ton of communication. We're more quiet guys. This year it seems like, whether it's Miro or Mike, there's a lot of communications with the ball. How much more freeing is that for you in this system, knowing that you have guys that are communicating?
Yeah, I think it just keeps going into this theme, I think, of just we want to be a together team. And I think when you enjoy playing with the team, like the guys, and you know that they have your back and they're doing the best thing for you, it's like it's just easy to communicate. And like that's hard to find. I think this day and age in college basketball is everybody on the same page, because with all the transfers and everything going on, it's like it's props to like Coach Smith for getting the right kind of guys that just fit in seamlessly. So yeah, it's been fun.
I'll add with Miro specifically, a guy who's played with professionals and overseas quite a bit. He's elevated a lot of us with communication because, again, he's played with guys who that's their job, that's their living. And college basketball, in my opinion, is kind of a full-time job. And so he's lifted a lot of us, and he's been a great addition and as a leader, vocally and on the court and off the court. And it's become a big part of our team is being elite communicators.
Well, I'm excited about this win. You know, our team just have had some obstacles to overcome here, like the last week specifically, and honestly, especially the last couple of days. So proud of how we played. I thought we were really, really connected. I thought we had a great start. You know, what were we up 10-2, 12-2, whatever it was. Went to our bench. I think our bench is going to be very good for us. You know, what do we have tonight off the bench scoring wise? 37. We had 52 against, you know, in the exhibition. But I thought we got a little stagnant there with that group. I think they had 11 points in 7 possessions. It was just a little bit of everything, you know, and they took the lead. And it was just kind of a little bit of everything. Got to get better at rebounding. You know, I thought we overhelped at times. At the end of the shot clock, gave up a couple threes when we were yelling fire, and I just didn't think they felt us. So, you know, there's certainly a long way to grow with this group, but I thought we really settled in. You know, it's when you have 9 new guys, like it doesn't always just happen as quick as you want it to happen. I thought we were a little sticky offensively. I thought that hurt us for a while. But then once we were able to self-correct, we were able to figure things out. You know, 29 assists is an unbelievable number, no matter who you play. And then, of course, the school record of 19 threes I thought was outstanding. But just we have a lot of selfless guys and a lot of guys that look to make the right play, and then things become, you know, somewhat simple. This is a team that forced a lot of turnovers, so we only had 10 turnovers. I thought that was big tonight. And they throw a lot of looks at you. You know, man, a lot of different ball screen coverages. They'll play about any kind of zone. They'll press any kind of way. So these early games like this, you got to kind of expect the unexpected. They have 13 new players, so you got to understand personnel as well. But at the end of the day, I thought it was a great team effort. We held them at 35% from the field, and we shoot, for the game, 56.1% with that many threes. So that's your effective field goal percentage is really, really high. So great win. Thanks to the crowd that came out tonight. We got a quick turnaround and another team with a lot of new players and a brand new coach. So a lot of work to get done in the next couple days.
Greg, it seems like this offense is pretty free-flowing, a lot of communicators out there. How much different is it this year than maybe in years past where you said some of those guys have been more quiet and things have kind of stagnated a little bit?
Yeah. You know, we have a deep team. You know, we've had, like, today we had to put guys, so we are free-flowing, first of all, right? We felt like we don't have nearly the number of, like, set plays in this year that we've had. Last year we had to really almost become a lot of sets, which I'm not a fan of doing, but we've just felt like we had to do that with last year's team. I felt like with this year's team there's a real priority recruiting-wise. You know, this is simple, and I've said this before, I think, but just more guys that are complete, like guys that can shoot, guys that can pass, guys that can make quick decision. I always like size. You know, when I say size, of course, girth, but also height and length. And we can play a lot of different ways out there. And, you know, just guys that can make the right play, right? They're rotating to you, one more, right? They're rotating hard. Okay, we're going to skip it cross court. You know, that pass Mike made at the end of the first half to Gabe? It was a high-level play. Like, to be able to see that and snap that ball to the deep corner on time on target, where all Gabe has to do is catch it and let it rip, right? That's a hard play. So we have a multitude of guys that can do that now. And then we have some guys that can make you pay. So we do talk more as a team. Our second-year team was a pretty good communication team. Marco was a really good talker. Raleigh was a good talker. BC became a good talker. So we got to keep going. We just got to keep going that way. And then last thing is just, like, listen, Lawson a week ago got hurt, right? And so he is not, of course, he hasn't practiced or he would have been playing. We don't know this timetable. I'm hoping it's going to be day-to-day here in the next couple of days, but I don't know. It's just wait and see how it recovers. He's doing everything he can. Zach Keller's the first time I saw him in a week. He's been down for the count. And so I just don't know. I haven't got an update where he's at. But Lawson's their starting five. Was going to be her starting five. He's played well. Had a great offseason. Zach is a guy that can play multiple positions. He's a 4. He's a 5. He's very physical and rugged, but yet skilled. So he was going to be our backup 5, but obviously, and then Ibrahim Traore, who. You guys that were at the exhibition game, I thought he played really well that night. And EB, early was just a gate, he's a go-getter. So athletic, so long arm, great timing, blocking shots. And then he kind of took a step backwards or two, just when you're learning all this new stuff, all your offensive packages, your defensive scheme. So you can just start overthinking everything. And then he kind of turned that corner where he wasn't thinking, now he's just playing. Because he's overlearned it. And I thought he was really turning a corner. But the other day in practice, he suffered a season-ending knee injury. So he'll be out for the year. You guys, this kid is just an unbelievable. I get a little emotional because this kid is he's really special. And he's one of those guys, he walks in a room, and you'll feel it when you meet him if you haven't met him. His smile and just lights up a room, and he's a relentless worker. He's a male student athlete of the month last month. 3-4 weeks ago, he spent almost 18 hours in the academic center in 5 days, which is wow. He's just relentless with his mentality. So we're going to miss him. He's going to have a really bright future in the next 4 years for the Running Utes. So that's sad news. So hopefully we can get some of these other guys back and healthy sooner than later because we're going to need them.
Coach, the 100 points was pretty eye-popping, but was curious to hear your take about how y'all played defense tonight, specifically with Jake, Ezra, and Tiana.
Yeah, those guys, because of those injuries, right, we've had to it's been learning overtime on both ends of the floor. It's probably harder on the offensive end just with some of the stuff, although we really tried to downsize it and keep things really, really simple. And it was especially those guys, Ezra, Jake, and KD. Thought they all played a really good game tonight. We put them in a lot of different positions. We threw a lot of different coverages at them, meaning we were changing some things up on the defensive end, and I thought they adjusted very well to it. And then, specifically with Jake and KD, you forget, those guys are only sophomores, right? Miro's only a sophomore. So those three guys, we're leaning on those guys now, and they're they haven't had a ton of playing time at the college level, right? And so there's going to be some, they're not going to be perfect out there, but they're just Jake especially is just really, really steady. He doesn't always just pop with what he does. He's worked his off this summer. I hope you can see it. I think it's pretty easy to see. He's in stance every possession. He's in the right position every time. Right, on offense, he just makes a lot of right plays. And then that second half, especially with KD, he did some really good things. Still had some errors with some stuff, but to get to your point, KD is 6'9", really long. So he can cover some ground. A couple of those dunks he had, right, and then his ability to just go get a rebound in traffic is high level. Jake is a very good rebounder, maybe not quite as long. KD's vertical improved 5 inches over the summer. Right, and then Ezra is just, he's a strong guy, super athletic, as you guys saw at times this year. His ability to attack, tonight, his ability to attack a rebound. The advantage for Ezra is at ECU, he did play some 5, so he has a pretty good understanding defensively. You know what I mean, on different ball screen coverages. We can put him in a position to do a lot of things. We knew that when we recruited him. Wow. And he's really starting to figure things out on the offensive end, and obviously you saw his ability to get fouled tonight.
The Madsen brothers combined for 42 points. Do you just need to recruit twins?
I love the play, and they didn't play a ton together. We're a work in progress, like anything. You're trying to figure out your lineups, and of course those two do have really good synergy on the floor. I don't remember if it was off a turnover or rebound, but we pitched it out to Mason, and it was kind of a 3-on-2-ish. I think there was one guy kind of ahead for Mason, but that I was so glad he made the right play with the cross-court pass to Gabe, and then Gabe kind of made a little, and I think he got the layup. He might have even got fouled, but I think he made the layup. off of that. There's some real synergy there. Those guys are weapons. I mean, you gotta really account for them. And you know what? With both of those guys, I love how they're. Gabe used to be really, really, really quiet, and man, some of the plays even tonight with his communication, like wow, that's progress. Like that's real progress that really matters to winning. And Mason doesn't have an issue talking. So, but that was fun to see, and I think there becomes a little extra spirit that goes along with that.